Now to a severe weather alert. That same storm system is making its way through our area. Taking a live look in East Providence from our Kettle Point camera, some rain is making its way in, and meteorologist Catie McNeil is in the Weather Center. And Catie, we just talked about all of that flooding down south. What are we expecting to see here in New England?
Hey Matt, yeah, so one of the reasons why we're in this severe weather alert is because of that elevated flooding risk as well as very high wind gusts at times. Let's take another look right now at our live cam looking at the skyline here in Providence. We're seeing some light rain moving through the area right now. It was heavier earlier this evening, and we're going to kind of see this on and off, a little bit more scattered into the overnight and then becoming more consistent as we head towards Monday morning. Here's a look at, in addition to that high wind warning, we have a couple other things in play here. Flood watch for the areas in green, and in these areas we could see rainfall totals up to 4 inches, and especially in the poor drainage areas that we've seen over the last several months. We could definitely have some localized street flooding play a part, especially during tomorrow morning's commute. We also are under a coastal flood warning in the areas in red. This includes the coast of Rhode Island, Narragansett Bay, and the coast of Connecticut here in Long Island. And with that, the main time frame we're concerned about any coastal flooding issues would be during the high tide right around noontime on Monday. So we'll keep you guys updated on that, keeping track of this impact as well. We're also keeping a close eye on the river levels as they are already elevated from the rain we saw earlier this week. Temperatures right now, believe it or not, we've already seen the overnight lows a couple of hours ago. Temperatures are now starting to increase a little bit into the 50s, mid-50s, 54 right now in Providence, right around 55 in Narragansett, Taunton slightly warmer at 57. We'll already be in the upper 50s by the time you leave the house tomorrow morning. So here's kind of a breakdown of the impacts from the system. So looking at wind gusts up to 65 miles an hour, which should cause isolated power outages. Street flooding, as I mentioned, also an issue, as well as that coastal flooding risk. And we're keeping an eye on those rivers and streams as well for possible overflow tomorrow. Here's a breakdown of those wind gusts, kind of coinciding with that high wind warning, the areas in red. This area is where we're going to see the highest risk for those power outages. Satellite and radar, showers moving through, but they've become lighter in the past hour or so, although these are going to become more consistent and widespread as we continue on through the night. And here's a look at that overarching system, still working its way through the Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic here, but going to become more of a factor here in southern New England, especially towards Monday morning. And let's take a look at kind of the timing of that here. So as we continue on, seeing some heavy rain in the pre-dawn hours, and this is going to continue through the start of your morning commute here, with the height of the wind gusts expected right around this time. And as we continue on throughout the day, going to continue to see the impacts from this rain until around 4:30, 5 o'clock, when the system continues to move offshore. But we'll still see some gusty winds as we continue on throughout the end of the day on Monday. Your Monday morning here, going to see heavy wind and rain. Again, the height of the wind gust is expected right around this timeline, and we are going to continue to see impacts through the afternoon, but conditions will drastically improve after around 4 or 5 o'clock. Showers do start to move out of the area, and we're just left with some clouds and some gusty winds at times, with a much quieter Monday night ahead. Your 7-day forecast here, we are going to stay in that alert through Monday morning. It's definitely looking like a messy commute if you're heading out around 7, 8 o'clock. Looking at some very heavy rainfall and very high wind gusts at times during that time period.
And Catie, we're talking about that morning commute and its importance. I mean, we saw people delayed all week last week from that Washington Bridge closure. Yes. So extra important tomorrow to get out on time. Yeah,
with those delays on the highway, definitely give yourself an extra hour or two to get to work in the morning.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Catie. And next is